Hello, good evening. Welcome to episode Rose Investigator. So guys, I didn't do videos yesterday. I kind of took it easy because I've been having, maybe I'm not the only one, I'm sure. The sleep has been kind of off, so I try to change back to a different schedule. So I went to bed much earlier than usual and it worked out perfectly. So I'm glad. I'm happy. So, okay guys, so there's so many questions, okay? And I'm going to get started. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to upload videos as I finish them. So, there's so many questions, oh my god. So, right now I am going to look again into the Jamal Kashoggi issue, okay? So, I had seen that Jared was going to be indicted and things would look bad for MBS once Jared leaves, right? And but what I want to know really is, how is this going to end, right? Because I feel like the last reading I saw that Jared had shared information, but I wasn't, after, obviously after you do a reading you realize you have more questions. So the questions I still have are: A, did Trump know that Jamal was targeted for death a la Michael Flynn? Because as you may or may not know, that one of the issues with Michael Flynn that we even know of is that he had this, I guess, consulting company, or however he called it, and the Turkish government reached out to him to have him help them find this cleric who is based in the U.S., try to kidnap him and ship him over, okay, to Turkey for interrogation, I don't know what, torture, whatever it is, you know what I mean? So somebody else mentioned this too, and as soon as I saw this news of the Jamal Kashoggi issue, I was like, oh, it reminds me of the other thing, that Flynn was like kind of open to negotiating, okay, to try to get something going for that. But then the difference is that I guess the guy that in Turkey truly is influential, okay, I guess. And this guy is just a journalist that they killed, okay? He's not some kind of political figure or whatever. Or I guess he wanted to open some pro-democracy, but that's very far from being like some person who actually wants to get into politics, which is the case, I guess, for Turkey. Anyway, so my question really is, did Trump know? Because I said before, guys, that what I saw was that they were not going to let him be they were going to remove him from some list that, like, for example, if there was a danger, if the U.S. intelligence agencies had known of danger, they would have alerted, right, him. But what I see happening here, what I saw was that Jared just took him out of this, but I didn't see them helping them remove, because how did he go to Turkey? What was this issue? What was happening? So did they know this? Essentially the question is, did Trump and or Kushner know that Jamal Kashoggi was going to be killed or whatever, kidnapped or whatever it was, before he left? And did they assist in some way? Because before, what I saw was that he was in a list and there was like information that was transmitted, but I don't know if they had communicated to Trump this stuff, okay, because that would be even worse. But guys, as you probably already also think, nothing surprises us about Trump, right? So that's that, okay? So the question is, did Trump know that Trump and or Kushner know that Jamal Khashoggi was targeted for death or kidnapping, and at the Saudi embassy in Turkey, was this something done independently, okay? Because it was so bold for him to do that, you know what I mean, guys? It's like, it's not, like I said, in this guy, it's not like he's a terrorist or something, He's not. He's relatively, he's not it's not like that case at all. So it takes total brazen, it makes me think basically that maybe there was some help there. So let's find out, okay? And then the other question is, how will this end for Trump, Kushner, and MBS? This is not going to die down, of course, right? Because he's a journalist, so it's not going to go away. So how will this end, okay? This whole, I'm not talking like how this will end in terms of the diplomatic problem here, okay? So did Trump know that Jamal was targeted? Trump or Kushner know that he was targeted? Okay, interesting. So guys, surprisingly, the answer is no. I don't feel like this was either informed. They were not informed that this was going to happen, and also, what it showed is that it is, guys. These images are so weird. Okay, it's like not funny, but they're weird a lot of times. So what I saw was was this guy with a dentist kind of outfit, you know, like with the goggles and stuff. If you have a root canal, and it showed that Jared had a root canal, and it's like MBS was like fixing his tooth, or somehow there was something really painful. That the sense I got was that Jared had bigger fish, you know, he has a lot of problems right now. That he's like a, you know, essentially he's like a root canal kind of situation, and at the same time I feel like it could be alluding to how much power MBS had to erase his pain point. You know what I mean? In the sense that his big concern was the debt of his building, and MBS, Saudi Arabia did give give the money to the building. Okay, to them, like I said this before in another reading about whether it's possible that Saudi Arabia could have paid them $3.6 billion to kill the Iran deal, and the answer was yes. So to them, it's not a huge deal. Like to the Saudis, is not, they don't think of it as a lot of money, but it showed that there's something. Jared is like, he has all kinds of different problems. He's not even thinking about this right now, but at the same time, that this is a big pain. You know what I mean? This is like, what does this mean? That tooth. Interesting. Yeah. So it showed like the tooth being pulled, like a lot of pain on Kushner. But what I understand is that because MBS extracted the tooth or helped, you know, remove the pain, he also owns Jared. So it showed me that MBS he didn't really care about Trump or Jared at all. He just did it because he feels, from his perspective, it's like, whatever, I already pay these people off, who cares? You know, from his perspective, he could just do whatever he wants, and he already paid for access, kind of thing. Okay, so it's kind of like, imagine if you, I know it sounds horrible, but that's kind of what it seems like to me. For example, if you bought a ticket to a very expensive party or something like that, and it was all expenses paid, you could just drink whatever you want because you already paid. So there's no limit. You know what I mean? The sense of like, there's no limits. He already paid for it, so he could do whatever he wants. He sees it as, he doesn't understand that there's things he can't do. He really didn't think that, and it showed that he has lack of restraint. Okay, obviously, and he, like I said, very narcissistic, and that he was triggered by the whole thing with Canada. Remember how he got really mad at Canada because Canada was angry that he had arrested women? I forgot this story. I remember how there was this whole controversy, and it seemed like so out of proportion, his response. The same thing here, okay? He was just like, he was very concerned about this meeting coming up, okay? This whatever, Davos in the desert or whatever. And he wanted his image to be a certain, like I said before, he wants to like, how, for example, let's say you write a text and you don't like a word, you delete it. Like for him, it's like whatever he reads, he doesn't like, he deletes the person who wrote it. Yeah, we bring saw for you. Yeah, we have saw to cut the bone. We don't cut the water, we cut their bones. So I'm sorry, not make a joke about it, but really that's what it looks like here. Okay, all right. So the answer is no, he didn't. Okay, and then how this will end. Okay, so it showed that they would be Saudi Arabia will be stonewalling, in the sense that they will not say anything, they will not give any information. And then I saw all these glass partitions, like imagine this is like MBS, and then like put on top of him, doom, 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 doom. And so that means basically that he is going to be further and further isolated from the West, okay? There's going to be probably sanctions. So this is going to complicate issues related to investments with the Saudis, I believe, okay? So this is just going to be one of those, yeah, this is complicated, guys, because interesting, guys, it's so, it's so interesting. Remember how I did the other reading about what's going to happen in the future, of rebuilding and everything. It's fascinating that this highlights the ongoing American connection to the Saudis. It's like they're not just, of course, there was 9/11, but it's like they enjoyed such a warm and fuzzy relationship because of the oil, because of, like, historically. So it's going to be painful if this is, I don't know how they're going to connect this. Okay, how will these sanctions, what will happen here? Something related to oil. I don't know, guys. This is complicated because there was definitely a import-export relationship here, and there's a lot of investment in terms of money. So this will be interesting. Okay, there's just it's a necessary complication. Okay, it seems like from what I see here. Okay. So how does it end for Trump? Okay, how does it end for Trump? Yeah. Okay. So the other thing that it showed is that Mueller is like happy that it came up. I'm not happy for Jamal, but obviously, right? But it's like, it's interesting that the whole thing is, without him doing anything, everything is coming up. It's showing already the stuff. It's been already 2 years, guys, right, that he's been in power almost. So stuff is already showing. Okay, so what it showed here is that this happened as a direct consequence of Trump selling off to this guy, and then him feeling emboldened, okay, to do this, feeling safe enough to do this. And also it shows that it's the perfect circumstance for Mueller to say, look, you got this money from Saudi Arabia, and boom, this is what happens. You see what I'm saying? So the connection is very clear here. And there's the issue of, I think, I don't know, guys, but I get a sense here that Jared and his family, not just Jared, but his family investments, they've already received Saudi money for other things, and the Saudis already paid. So it's like they feel like, from their perspective, Jared is one of their employees or something, because they own a lot of the things that Jared is involved in, okay? And then even when they think the businesses themselves are inherently worthless. See what I'm saying? So they feel like they're doing him a favor anyway. And the other thing is that Trump, the whole thing again, the money, there's going to, they traced the money that went to Trump from the Saudis. Yeah, I think they would be able to trace the money. And it's giving me here the face of George Nader, guys. I believe George Nader may know what the Saudis have given Trump and Kushner. So it's a quid pro quo relationship here, highlighted. Okay. And and I see these documents again, the thing I've seen before, that there, I feel like, I don't know anything about how those intelligence agencies work, but I feel like I see a document almost as if, for example, there's a department of, I don't know, let's say Imagine, okay? I don't know, that's what I'm seeing, that's how it looks like to me. If, like, let's say CIA, right, there's like a department of like Europe, or another one, Middle East, another one. So there's one just for Saudi Arabia, and they have these reports, like what's going on there. Okay, so it's like, so the report of Saudi Arabia, or related to Saudi Arabia, whatever it is, it can be kind of like, targeted, I guess. You could say, well, let's look into this person or that person, so the report is going to show it. So Jared took this report and showed it to him. That he already, I think, ahead of time, he made it, he changed it. He requested specific people, and that this guy was on the list. Okay, so that's that. Okay, and for MBS, I kind of feel like he's going to go to, it's funny, a long time ago, one of the first readings I did about him and Jared, I think I saw him eventually going to do, that's what I feel like. It's like he's going to be removed. I think first there's going to be the sanctions, okay, and then eventually he's going to be put in some sort of jail. I don't know if it's like, because I feel like he's dangerous, to the country in some ways, okay, so I don't know how it's not, this is beyond the scope of this, okay, but that's what I wanted to understand. So yeah, so this is going to, in a way, complicate the situation for everyone involved, but at the same time, this will be beneficial for us in the sense that we will finally begin to untangle the decades of relationships between the Saudis and the U.S. and the oil. So this is, this will have to be looked into, because yet again, remember how there was 9/11, and yet again the situation, okay, of like them getting involved in something that's like destructive. So I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying, right? So it's it can't be erased. All right. So that's that, okay? All right. Bye. Okay, guys. So quickly, I just did cards just to confirm, and so that asks the question: how is this going to end for Trump, Kushner, and MBS? And this is for Trump. So this is interesting. We have Wohnzimmer, that's the living room. Guter Ausgang in the Liebe, that's a good, successful outcome in love. So good, positive connection. And then falsche Person, so that's a mistake or something shady. That's not, it's like the equivalent to a snake. Okay, so we see here that private, successful relationship that is shady. Okay. So there's obviously a lie, because they have a connection that goes beyond, as we know that, right? But that's just shown here. And then Jared, so I tend to see it as kind of like communicate. Let's say, for example, exchange of communication. But the general meaning really is the lack of focus, okay, or lightness. And this is Donna Maritata, that means wife. But generally, this also is business partnership. So it could be partnership, but also marriage. So it's like they are partners, and the viaggio upside down. So there was something not serious here, okay? So in the sense that obviously there's something shady related to the foreign power. He's partners with his foreign power for nefarious reasons, okay? And there's more than meets the eye, and I think this is going to be exposed. Okay, see, there is a successful partnership here that this shows that Trump is obviously a fake person, and there's nefarious reasons for the foreign connection, something in private. There is, yeah, it's kind of like in the way this is non-committal, so it could say, well, they have this private relationship that shows that he's not really serious about solving any problems with them. Okay, he'll just be quiet. All right. So then I have here what happens to Kushner. Okay, then we have, what was this? Yeah, so this is Gericht, that's the court, a long time, or a long time ago, or a long way. And this is interesting because this is hope. Now I see here that there's a sinking ship, I think. Okay, so I think that, as I saw in the vision, MBS saved his sinking ship, aka 666 Fifth Avenue. So the court is going to look essentially the court goes a long way back to see how MBS saved, right, literally through the anchor to Jared, okay? And then here we have, this is actually upside down, so this is treason, right, lack of loyalty. Bambino also upside down, this is Trump, and soon, so very soon. So here we have court to looks at treason. Like, guys, imagine, I wish this wasn't as truthful as it is, you know what I mean? But it's definitely, I think we all know that the possibility is extremely high that I think he has already committed treason. But can you imagine that this is the moment in history we're living? So anyway, so a long way. This is going to come out soon. Something related to Trump and how they saved both Trump and Kushner. So yeah, so this is going to come out in court, okay? And it's interesting, guys, because this is suggesting that I think he may be charged with treason, which makes a lot of sense, right? That means Jared. All right. So what happens? What's the consequence for MBS? So I'm going to say here. Okay, so interesting, because there's a change. This is eine Veränderung, that means change. And then we had, what was it here? Grief and adversity. Okay. And then here we have the baby. So that's Trump. So I think this is a sign. This is interesting because it suggests that this is a shift in their relationship. And also that it maybe not the relationship even, but whatever outcomes, this is a change because there's grief and adversity to the baby, to Trump, right? And now this is interesting. This is a messenger. And I took notes recently on the cards. So written news related to work or finances, important communication, setting, timing of event. So we see what I mean? This is a moment of change. This is la lettera. That would mean some sort of indictment or decision. Could also even be the document that Jared may have given to them. And this is upside down. This is a gran consolazione. So this is the amount of either because gran consolazione a lot of times is a big prize. So it's whatever it is that you were dreaming about, your big goal, upside down. So I feel like essentially there's going to be the recognition. I've said this before, guys. I do these reviews of cards from time to time, and I, like yesterday or the day before, I did these, and I realized maybe I shouldn't rely so much on the upside down thing and just kind of stick to the meaning. And this is the big prize. Like I said, the big prize that he gave to Trump is going to be his undoing, his down. I don't say it's not indicating a downfall. It just it indicates a lot of big headache. Okay, and this is like the money that he gave to Trump is going to be a big problem. There will be some sort of I don't know if it's an indictment or a subpoena, something like this. Okay. So how is this going to, in the end, impact the relationship between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia? Let's see here. Yeah, this is headache, right? So worry about something comes into prominence about work. So worries about stuff they've worked together on. Speranza. Yeah, interesting. See, yeah. Another card of surprise money. So it sees something becoming known. So it will come into prominence, the fact that they were enemies, right? In a way. And then we have hopelessness because the enemy is exposed, and the work that they've done and the shady money that was discovered. Okay, so this is not good, guys. Okay, there, like I said, what it looks like is that beyond the Jamal situation, there is a discovery of money here that indicates treason, which you kind of already sense this, but that's what's indicating here. Okay, all right, I'm gonna stop then. Okay.